volumes up. There we go. And I'm late, really late, but I need to do this video. I need to try to keep on some kind of schedule, not fall behind. Doing a lot today. Went to the doctor for my back, um, and went to sign language class. So we learned numbers today, pretty good, and working on my website. It's live, you can see it, but I'm doing work on it every day. I think I'm just about finished with the foundation of it. Then I'm just going to be adding classes on my school page. It's a weird thing where I couldn't add PayPal buttons, but I can add PayPal links. So I don't know, this website's gotten harder to actually do. I used to be able to plug in PayPal buttons on the HTML thing, but anyway, that's what I've been doing. That's why I'm so late, but I want to get this out. We're doing America, the farewell tour, and we're reading the chapter on hate because there's a lot of hate. We all suffer from it. I suffer from it myself. A lot of bitterness, a lot of hate from doing all the right things and still ending up in a bad spot. And I think it's a lot of people in the United States like that. Millions of us. And we're bitter as hell. But we're dealing with it in different ways. I'm just thankful that I'm creative. Writing short stories, writing poetry. You see them on my channel. And doing these classes to keep me busy. Writing on all the different platforms. I'm just glad that I can do that because I can't tell you the thoughts that. But anyway, let's get into this. And let me see, because this highlight, I don't know what. When he walked into the church's basement, Fellowship Hall, at 8:15, he was carrying 88 hollow point bullets he had purchased at Walmart. This is where we're living. Go to Walmart, you can get your food, you can get your Vaseline or your lotion, you get your razor, and you can get your bullets and your gun. Hollow point bullets increase in diameter when they enter human flesh to maximize tissue damage, blood loss, and shock. He sat with 12 members of the Bible study class. He had prepared for what he hoped would be the start of a race war by making pilgrimages to Confederate heritage sites, including the Museum and Library of Confederate History in Greenville, with his display of Civil War weapons, Confederate uniforms, and framed portraits of South Carolina's 48 Confederate generals. The Boone Hall plantation, with its half-mile row of majestic oaks, its big house, and 9 remaining slave quarters, and Sullivan's Island, the largest slave port in the United States. African men, women, and children were placed in quarantine on the island before being transported to Charleston for sale. Nearly half of all the ancestors of African Americans are estimated to have passed through Sullivan's Island. The first, there's not going to be no race war. Black people aren't interested in that. We're just not interested in it. First of all, what are y'all fighting? There's not even no competition. We're being slaughtered. I mean, if there's a war happening or there's a population control thing happening, we're just dying. So there's no reason to go to war with us. You got a problem, it's with the ruling class. That's one thing. And I wanted to say, when I graduated from the University of South Carolina, Columbia, they have a Confederate museum on site. And I went to it because as a student, I had the right to go. And because University of South Carolina was a hospital for the Confederate soldiers. That's how it started out. Great medical program in USC. Great medical program, great law program. The nursing program is like top notch in USC. So I remember when I went and the white lady looked at me and I spoke. I'm looking at the exhibits, minding my business, and she went to the back to get a white man, right? And I'm looking at the exhibits, and he came to the front of the door. He was back there doing something. So he came to the door that leads to the back, and he was watching me. And I'm looking at the exhibits and reading and then looking at the at the uniforms. And what I noticed is children were fighting on the Confederate side. They had little uniforms, and they said that there was children as young as 10 years old. Then I had to remind myself, children weren't children all the time in this country, and we might be moving back toward that. But anyway, the man watched me for a few minutes, and then I hear him say something to her, and then go in the back. Like, what are you doing? He's looking at the exhibits, probably what he said, and went in the back. It's like, why you bothering me? Like, that's what, because I could see them out the corner of my eyes the whole time. And then she went off somewhere. I was a student, but I guess no black people ever went in there. But yeah, there's Confederate museums. There's a lot of them in the South, and I think Irony is right. I think the Klan basically runs the South. They're in the state senate and the state legislature and the city council. The White Citizens Council is the city councils, is the state senators and assembly people and governors and mayors. Basically it. Quote, you blacks are killing white people on the streets every day and raping white women every day, they always say. He shouted at his victims when he was shooting, according to the journal he kept in jail. Roof is currently in the United States Penitentiary in Terre Haute, Indiana, where federal death row inmates are housed and executed. Why is he in Indiana if he killed people in South Carolina? It's weird. It's federal prison, so I guess you can move wherever. Actually, I heard they move black people all around the country too, even when you didn't do a federal crime. If New York is overcrowded, they'll pay like Indiana or Illinois or somewhere to take them. What a way to travel. They say black people don't usually travel outside. What a way to actually see the country. The prisons. White people are pretending, he wrote in his journal, decorated by Nazi cross and Klan ruins, which was confiscated and used in his trial. Grown adults waiting around playing pretending we are all the same and equal, pretending that nothing bad is happening, and pretending like they have a future. Well, unless we take real, possibly violent action, we have no future, literally. I'm 21 years old, and I don't play pretend. Well, he's right. We are pretending. There's a lot of pretending going on. But it's not black people well, I'm not going to say we're not the problem, and we're not the problem that we're taking anything from anybody. The only problem with black people is we won't do the political and social work. It's like we're done with it. We believe we don't have to, which is insane, but we're insane like everybody else. That's what it is. We decided to be as crazy and as insane as everyone else. That's what it is. I would rather live in prison knowing I took action for my race than to live with the torture of sitting idle. He went on, it isn't up to me anymore. I did what I could do. I've done all I can do. I did what I thought would make the biggest wave. And now the fate of our race sits in the hands of my brothers who continue to live freely. You know how many people are out here? 35 million people are like this in this country. That was Trump's hardcore base. And if I'm going to be honest with you, it's a lot of white liberals like this. They don't think that we should go to war or anything, but they think that we're a problem. I see the way they look at us. When I'm on the train, I watch how they watch us. And they see us like sleeping homeless on the train or struggling or whatever the case may be. And they look at us like we're not even human. Um, there's a lot of bitter black people and immigrants too. A lot of bitterness. Um, and it's gonna explode. And we don't know. It's probably gonna be something really small and minor that sets it off, but it's gonna explode. That's what all the cop cities are about. That explosion. I do not regret what I did, he wrote. I'm not sorry. I have not shed a tear for the innocent people I killed. Well, he called them innocent. Yeah. This kid is all twisted up, man. See, this is what hate and bitterness does. If you don't deal with it properly, it twists you up like this. I do feel sorry for the innocent white children forced to live in this sick country, and I do feel sorry for the innocent white people that are killed daily at the hands of the lower races. I have shed a tear of self pity for myself. I feel pity that I had to do what I did in the first place. I feel pity that I had to give up my life because of a situation that should never have existed. Nobody cares about your life. Not even your white brothers and sisters. They don't care about your life because you're twisted and bitter and you wasted your life because your belief, and this is why I say belief is very dangerous, but your belief in this thing that we're running around killing people. So what about white people who kill people, or white people who abuse their children and their wives and things like that? What about that? Those people are fine. But white people who kill each other, white people who kill the lower, well, I guess he doesn't care if we kill the lower, if they kill the lower races, if they kill us, it doesn't matter. It's only when we hurt them it's a problem. And up until recently, I would have questioned how many people of us are really harming them. But these days, a lot of black people are sick of. Well, that's one thing we're doing. We're not letting them get away with saying slick things anymore. So I've seen some black people curse out white folks um, for disrespecting, It's never for no reason, right? So unless well, I've seen the mentally ill come on and do it, but that's mental illness. And again, why are our mental ill on the train? You know, so that's what bitterness and hate can happen. 21 years old, and he's sticking with it. Solid hate. Solid hate. That's what he has. And that's what a lot of people have. So, support the site. You can see my new website, consciouscenter.org. If you have suggestions, go to it, make suggestions. What was I going to say? Take care of yourselves. Be safe. The natural world is pissed and taking it out on us. And this society is full of madness. Just look at the people running for office and you'll see stupidity, insanity, and partially it's our fault. And so we're going to have to suffer through it till we take, I should say, some power and control back of this society and push it towards some sanity again. And we have power, more power than you think. Again, stay safe, take care, and be as good as possible. And if you have bitterness and hate, try to work through it. Leave comments. We can work through it together. You can share some ideas with me. I can share some ideas with you on how I'm working through mine. Be safe.